Vildoza on the buzzer. Oh, how messy was that? Oh, and then Žalgiris just completely taking their eye off the ball. Vildoza, red. Oh, that was just absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
That wasn't.
Yeah. And look at this too.
Vildoza, is there more? Yes, there is. And that's a career night for Luka Vildoza, who had 23 for Baskonia against Efes nearly 4 seasons ago. Tonight, that's a 25-point game. And
now at boiling point. Baskonia up by 2. Running the shot clock to the final seconds. Marinkovic riding the turbulence and getting stopped on his route to the rim. And it goes! For Giedraitis.
I mean,
the circus
His
shot
body was on the other
at
basket,
the
right? It
home
was
of the
facing
defending
the other.
champions.
Wow.
Ball in his hands. Here's your ball game. DeColo finds Nua. Nua lets fly. If it goes, it'll win it! Salah! Summer play! They say finish!
What an atmosphere. This stadium is great, a great home court.
it's amazing. It gives more energy to the players.
It's incredible! Ami Nua with a 3. Everyone thought, including myself, that DeColo would get the last shot. But DeColo becomes the provider. And Nua becomes the hero. There's no doubt about it. High screen and roll with the Soar all night. Here it is, Exum now off the screen. Nunnally fakes. Wants that ball screen. Shot clock at 5. Nunnally rises for a deep 3. If it goes, it could win it. James Nunnally
You were saying about Arsenal Stadium, but this
So pumped.
is amazing.
From the top of
Crazy,
the key.
crazy.
Right over Brian Dunstan. And he rattles home the 3.
Another amazing home court atmosphere.
Which very well may win this game for Partizan.
They give such a boost to the players.
Eli Okobo with a bit between his teeth, passes on, Blossom game. Okobo, he's got to get it away for the win, got it! Eli Okobo making magic in Monaco. To break Alba Berlin to bits. The president,
Look at the prince.
the CEO, the VIPs, the players.
Ooh la la! That's how they say it.
Elio.
What a game.
Wow, yes. I mean, amazing games all over around Europe in every basketball court. Just pure magic that Euroleague brings us every week.
You know what? This, I think, double week was one of the most crazy because we had 9 games in each round, right? So 9 out of 9 games in the round 14 were decided within single-digit difference, and 8 out of 9. So except of the Olympiacos blowout win versus Fener, as you can see there, any other game in this week, in this double week, so 17 out of 18 games were decided with less than 10 points. So that's how crazy was this double round. And buzzer beaters, as you've seen, by the way, these were all loaded and through our Twitter, so you can make sure to follow us there. So
we
amazing.
post any updates and any videos or any highlights from Euroleague, you will find them there. I mean,
not any, but the ones.
I mean, the most amazing, and
yeah,
like Vildoza, for example. What a night versus Žalgiris in round 13.
Yeah, so he, as you see, he reached 1,000 career points, and he was unstoppable. He had also 4 steals, right? Not just
Mhm.
scoring. So very all around game. And yeah, I'm showing the round 13 results, but yeah, as you can see, also round 14 again, everything was very close. In terms of our suggestions and our players, I think we had round 13 as highlights. I would say Tavares with 6 blocks against Bayer.
Mhm.
Um, so he gave 18.7 fantasy points. We had Lesort, although he lost that game in France. He scored 15 points and gave 23 fantasy points. Vezenkov, 29.7. He scored 21 points. Very efficient in his scoring. We had Mirotic on that game in Monaco that he scored 15 points and 9 rebounds, and he actually scored another buzzer beater that we didn't show. That was halftime buzzer beater through a very good game plan through of Sarah's book. And he gave 24.2 points. We have Sorkin from Deep Value with 23.1 points, 14 points and 6 rebounds against Armani in 22 minutes. So helped their team have this big away win that I think was the first away win of Maccabi. And then we had Vildoza, we talked about already, 26.4 points. And I think Deep Value also, we have Larenzakis versus Fener that he gave 14.3 points. And just very fast on the round 14.
Mhm.
Hunter, it was a good pick from us. 13.6 rebounds, so 16.5 fantasy points versus Valencia. Again, Vezenkov, he only missed 1 shot. So he scored 16 points but gave 22 fantasy points, although they lost the game to Villeurbanne, as we've seen. And he played his part, as you can see on the on that last defense. He decided to double the Colo. I mean, he's such a quality that you would think you would do that, but the Colo was also coming into form. He had that buzzer beater over Mirotic on round 12, and he was on fire also around 13 with 6 out of 8 3-pointers. So it made sense to do that. But they had Noah, and he got that shot.
Mhm.
Um, we had Harper giving us 21 fantasy points. He gave 15 points and 8 assists. A good all-around game. Evans, we talked so many times about Evans and how important it is for Zalgiris, and they got a big win versus Real at home. He has 20 points and 5 rebounds. Again, I think he's playing on the top level. And we have him on our good team, and we think this year he's the breakout year for him. He's playing like the big dog in Zalgiris, so really really good
Just
games.
just imagine after 14 rounds, we're going into the 15th round now. He has Evans only 1 round with single digit fantasy points versus FS. He had only 3. All the other rounds he had 12 or more, or 11 or more
Yeah,
fantasy points. So he's that efficient. I think this year is the year that he breaks out, and maybe during the summer we may see him after more
yeah,
clubs going after him.
yeah. And when we've seen him in Maccabi last year, um, he focused more on in many aspects of his game, but I felt like he was focusing on defense. He had that as more defensive assignments from his coach, and this year he's just all around, as you said, can do anything.
Yeah.
um yeah, Marinkovic also from Deep Value, just 5.3 credit, sorry, and in 20 minutes he gave 11 points, and whoever had him also on 13 round, he was also a good game. But I think what stood out for us was the coaches. So we have 3 out of 3 on round 13 with Mateo Ivanovic and Parker. But then on round 14, things went very wrong with Barzokas -5, Mateos -5, Ivanovic -5, and Obradovic just winning on the buzzer beater. So we just need to come back on the round 13 form, right?
Yes. So it's like round 13 good, 14 not so good. So now we're heading into round 15. So it's time to bounce back and recover. So let's see the options that we have for round 15. So from the top tier market, one coach that stands out is Ataman. FS did not have one of the best double weeks. Let's say they lost both games versus Baskonia at home and at Partizan in Belgrade. Now they're playing at home versus Panathinaikos. Panathinaikos also did not have a good week. Playing in Spain, playing away. But in this case, we think it's time for FS to bounce back, especially for some players as well, because Will Clyburn had the -6 fantasy points versus Partizan. So I think it will be a game that FS want to win. And they have the quality and the players to bounce back and win that game at home. Another coach from the top tier market is Chus Mateo from Real Madrid. We're picking up after -5 versus Algiers after a defeat, but Real is back at home playing versus Asvel. Asvel is in good form, but Real is Real. Real Madrid is a team fully stacked, and the latest information we have is that Gabriel Deck is back as well to the team, who is like an instrumental player for Real Madrid this year and what they want to achieve. So in this case, Chus Mateo is another option we have from the top tier market with 9.1 credits.
And as you said, he has actually he's coming from a defeat, so his credit value is lower. So we're getting him with a discount.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Good point. Then we move to the mid market. From the mid market, we have Coach Barjokas. Okay. So he comes from, he has round 12, 25 points, round 13, 25 points, and then round 14, -5. And that's the round that we put you on our team. I mean, yes. So I think, but Olympiacos is such a quality team, and Coach Barjokas knows how to wake up his team and his players. So, and he knows how to make them focused on their home court versus Crvena Zvezda. It will be not the first game that you see Facundo Campazzo with Crvena Zvezda, but still Olympiacos has a players to overcome the obstacle and bring the W.
But actually, you may see him just maybe not playing because I think he traveled. Just he's not in the team.
In the active roster, yes. In the active roster,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
You may see him on the bench for sure. In a
what a great signing, right?
Amazing. Yeah. This Argentinian combo that this team has now, Crvena Zvezda has now, plus Nedovic at guard. It brings 3 so quality guards to the team that they can. I mean, Coach Ivanovic can, have many ideas now on his playbook.
But honestly, would you go for a guard of, such a good guard? So, or would you give that money maybe on other positions? Like you already have top quality there. You're definitely gonna be probably one of the best guard lines in Euroleague. You already had an amazing duo. So I just thought they needed maybe some more help on forwards or even center. So it is a huge, amazing signing. It's like a big name. It's like a bomb. It's amazing. But
it's true. But when you find this opportunity, you cannot let it go. It's a big opportunity. And also keep in mind that Nedovic, he is a quality player, but he's injury prone. So you never know when injury will hit his door. Knock on wood, nothing
Knock on wood, of
happens
course. Yeah.
because he's such an amazing player. But
Yep.
still, you need to have this insurance, at the guard position.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Barjokas is with 8.8 again, as Bill said, for Coach Matteo with a discounted price now with 8.8 credits, coming down from 9.10. And the other, Bill.
No. Let's
Oh,
go
okay.
on. Sorry.
No. So the other option from the mid market we have is Coach Penaroya from Baskonia. I mean, Baskonia, what a week for Baskonia. 2 games away against FS and Fenerbahce, top teams in Euroleague this year. Such a quality roster overall, but they came on top. Baskonia came on top and brought 2 Ws to the team, very big Ws, and now they're heading again back home versus Virtus. Virtus is a very good defensive team. Baskonia at home is a high score team. It can reach 100 points in some games, has reached 100 points. But now it's against a defensive minded team. Coach Scariolo knows how to create on his playbook good defensive schemes. But still, Baskonia is in good form, and we believe that Penaroya has what it takes to also have another W to his to bring another W to his team. And also with 7.1 credits, it's a very good choice. And last but not least, from the deep value market, we have Coach Max Vitis from Žalgiris. So Žalgiris is coming from a big win versus Real Madrid at home. Žalgiris played really, really well. This home court, we said about all the home courts that we saw, all the buzzer beaters. But if we do not mention Žalgiris Arena, it will be our basically big mistake because they have an amazing home court. And they're playing versus Bayern.
And that's why Final Four is going there.
That's true.
This year. Yeah.
That's true. And they're facing Bayern München. Now, we believe they have what it takes to overcome Bayern and get a W. And with 4.8 credits, I mean, if you want to spend less for a coach and more for the players, I mean, this is our suggestion for round 15.
Yeah. Definitely. So that's the coaches. So let's see about players.
Mhm.
And I think this time we can start with the centers. And again, from the top market, we do have Lesort for one more time. So he's playing in Istanbul against Fenerbahce. Now, I'm not sure Konstantinos is Antetokounmpo, the new signing, available. Kostas Antetokounmpo. Motley, there is a chance he's back, but then probably he's not ready yet. So all in all, probably Lesort, have some players that they are even missing the game or they're not there. So it's only Booker that we know for sure he's gonna there and play. So he should be able to play quite well and dominate the basket as he does. And we've seen it doesn't really matter for him if he plays home or away. He is quite stable. And except of the 2 games in Spain, he, as you can see, he's giving really good fantasy points back. So with 15.6 and with Fenerbahce being on a bad form, Lesort is our first option. And then second option, we have Davis. Another 33 fantasy points for him after round 11. We talked about this in around 11. So we have given him as a suggestion because his coach has benched him the game before and has pretty much put him on ice, tried to get him to play as we know he can. And he exploded versus Baskonia. And then again at Cervena Zvezda, he had 7 assists. He has 2 steals, 6 rebounds, 15 points. So there is high chances that he can keep this on, hopefully. And I know it's a difficult game versus Monaco, but he has two centers to play against. But offense, I think with his offensive capabilities, he's probably gonna have a good game there. Now going into the mid market, so anything below 11 credits. Let's see, we do have Zizic. He is coming from 33 as well game, so we are trying to bet on his form. Also, we've seen centers against Panathinaikos getting very good score. So if he gets the minutes, and that's an if there, because if we see his minutes, we see that his role is not quite big. He's more of a role player in FS this year. So it will really depend on how long he will play. I guess if the game switches more, and we think it does, with the way that he can play with a back in the basket. So hopefully he can keep this form with 10.7. Then we have there Zizic. And then we do have with 8.6, it's Petrusev. Petrusev is playing against Yakos. As you can see, he's one of the regular players in his team. He's getting the minutes, and he had an amazing game versus Armani when he had a double-double with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Hopefully he can keep this on in Athens. Finally, for this mid-market, we have Konstantinos' favorite here, Othello Hunter. He's playing at Zalgiris. He's getting his form back, as you can see. This double week, he gave 13 and 16.5 points. So he's gonna have to play in a very difficult arena, as we said, as you mentioned, Konstantinos. But he is the quality of player, and he has the experience to perform in any court. So hopefully there is another good game from him.
To me, he is a great EuroLeague veteran. Now he doesn't play in one of the top teams now, but he has the quality to step on the floor and impact the game of a team, of any team. Like I can see him easily in one of the top teams to be the second or the third center in a top team, because he has this, he has the skills, and he's that efficient.
Definitely. And then going into now the deep value market, so anything below 8 credits. Here is a risky option from us, as we said, just because of the matchup and his ability to stretch out on the 5. We think plays may have a chance to get some good points, and with 7.6 credits could be a good option. And then we know that if he starts well, he's gonna get more minutes than his usual. Then we do have Lammers from Berlin. Lammers is, as you can see, he had a couple of good games the last 3 fixtures. He scored double digits. He grabbed rebounds. He had steals, so very all-around game. And in terms of minutes, we can see here he had more the last 4 fixtures, around 20 plus. So it should be a very good option when Maccabi is missing still Poitras, and I think except like the main center is just Nibo, right?
Yes.
So probably he will have that quality minutes to translate into fantasy points. And then I think a very good, very cheap option. So if you don't have enough credits, Pradilla with 4.9 plays, as you can see, 15 minutes minimum. He has that role in Valencia, and he scored 12 fantasy points. So for 4.6, giving 12 fantasy points, that is a steal. So to be honest, if he can give anything above his credits, I think is a win, right?
That's true. That's true. And he gets the playing time. That's the most important factor if you want to choose from the deep value market players.
Exactly. So over to you then for the forward position.
Well, let's go for the forward position. And well, I mean, every time we start with Vezenkov, this is not an exception. So we start with Vezenkov again. I mean, if you see, he's now 19.2 credits, but he's scoring 19.6 points. He's grabbing all these rebounds. He had 27.7
Fantasy, yeah.
fantasy. It's amazing, honestly. And Bill, I remember you told me he missed only one shot versus Aswell.
Yeah.
So just imagine he just missed one shot in the whole game. I mean, he's
16
that
points
good.
had.
Yeah, 16 points. He's that efficient. So I think he knows his teammates know how to find him, but he knows how to move off the ball to get the ball in order to score and to get the position score.
Yeah.
So our first suggestion is Vajankov for 19.2 credits. It's a high amount, but he deserves it. I mean, every credit. Then we move on to Nikola Mirotic from Barcelona. Mirotic had a good week, double week, after coming back. So basically, he already has 4 games in Euroleague. But if you see, he has double-digit points. In some games, he has 6 rebounds or 9. Others, he has 3 or 5. But still, Mirotic is that efficient and effective. He has maybe he's not in minutes restriction, but Saras knows how to use Mirotic. He doesn't overdo it, even if he's very productive, but he manages in a way to get the best for that amount of playing time out of Mirotic. And Mirotic is helping Barcelona to the maximum to be back in one of the top standings in EuroLeague.
Sorry to interrupt, just I wanted to give an example. If I remember correct, I'm pretty sure he started with 3 out of 3 3-pointers, and he was benched. And I think then he got in, he had another 3-pointer, 4 out 4, and then very shortly he got benched. So as you said, the time management is severe. I think it's around 22 or 23 minutes he averaged in Spanish league and in EuroLeague. So that's the only thing that could be a downside here, that he won't get all the minutes. But if he plays like around the minutes that the other top there we have, like Vezenkov or Clyburn play, he's gonna be exploded.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget that we had double rounds in 1 week. So now we just have 1 game.
Just 1 game, yeah.
So now his minutes may go up to, I don't know, may go up to 25 or more minutes. So depending the case. So Nikola Mirotic is another option for 15.5 credits. Then we move on to Jaran Musa from Real Madrid. Musa is a kind of player who, after Deck went down, sorry, for with an injury, we said he's coming back, but he picked it up. Musa picked it up with Hazonia, but Musa is the one who is, doing everything on the court, not just scoring, but can grab rebounds, can give assists. So he can be like, in a way, the playmaker, in a way, like bring the ball down the court, give the assist. And with 12.7, yes, you see 15.7 points. I mean,
Yeah.
what more? And with 12.7 credits, with Real playing versus Asphalt at home, I think even with the Gabriel Deck back, Musa has the potential to have a high fantasy points game, and also points in general to score. So then we move to the mid market.
I think this is still top rank, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
We'll go to Dwayne Bacon. His price is 11.9 credits already. So you see, he is that again. He came to Panathinaikos and he just said, "Just give me the ball and I'll score." So he is that good scorer. He's probably one of the best scorers that we have in Euroleague in general, as individual player skills. He has this unique touch that, even if he has a bad night, he can pick it up at any moment, and you don't know when it was. Like if you see versus Valencia, he scored 22 points, which was amazing. Panathinaikos lost the game, but still he managed to score 22 points and give 16 fantasy points. Same against Barcelona. He scored 19 points, grabbed 5 rebounds in total. Again, he gave 16 points. And keep in mind that he played versus Barcelona. Barcelona has Kalnic, who is a very good defender. So it was a way for Saras to limit his productivity, but still you see he scored 19 points. So Dwayne Bacon with 11.9 credits. Yes, if you see he's scoring 20.3 points, I mean, that's amazing. Also, I think Mike James tweeted about
Yeah.
a photo with 3 players from Barcelona guarding Bacon, and Mike James said, "Welcome, welcome to the league. Welcome to my world,
Welcome to my life, to my
to
world.
my
Yeah,
life, to my world, my life." So basically,
Mike
you
James
understand.
is
Yeah,
amazing.
yes,
Love him.
one of the greatest that played in Euroleague, Mike
Yeah.
James.
Yeah.
So with 11.9 credits again, Dwayne Bacon is our final top tier option.
Let's go below 11 then to the
And
mid
let's
market.
go. Yes. So from the mid market, I mean, this player, EuroLeague veteran again, Ulanovas, Edgaras Ulanovas. He's playing again back to, uh, let's say, his team. He was in Zalgiris, went to Fenerbahce for a year, now back in Zalgiris since last year. But if you see, he is scoring 10.7 points, grabbing 2.1 defensive rebounds, 1.1 offensive rebounds, which is very high for a small forward. 2.6 assists. So you see, he is kind of scorer and creator for the team, for Zalgiris. I mean, if you see, he is costing 9.9 credits, but his impact to the team is amazing. Even in a game, for example, if you see the game versus FS, he scored 9 points, just 9 points, but he has 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. So you can see that he brings to the team on the court a big variety of skills that can impact and bring a W to Zalgiris in the game versus Bayern at home. So with 9.9 credits is a good option to have at forward. Another option is Blossom Gate from Monaco. So since Jordan Lloyd injured versus Real Madrid, Then Blossom Game picked it up. So he became the other scoring option for Monaco. I mean, Monaco has a lot of great players, but from the forward position, because at guard it has Mike James, has Eli Okobo. Without Lloyd, Okobo and James are the main guards now, but they need this third guy to pick it up, and Blossom Gate is that player. So if you see versus Alba, he had 16 points, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 assist. So he gave 15.4 fantasy points, and for 8.10 credits is a good choice. Also, if you think they're playing versus Armani, Armani is not in a good form at the moment, and for Monaco, I think they have what it takes to bring another W to the team.
Not in a good form for a long time,
True.
as Drake would say. So,
That's true. So then we move on to, I think the player
third
we have
page.
said it. Yes, third page. We said this player in the past is Tadas Sadekerskis. He's scoring 6.7 points, but grabbing 3.1 defensive rebounds, 0.9 offensive rebounds, 1.2 assists. I mean, if you see, and he has only 0.2 turnover ratio. If you see, compare assists to turnovers, and 0.5 steals. Like, if you see versus Fenerbahce, in that crucial game, he gave 18.7 fantasy points by just scoring 8 points, but grabbing 7 rebounds and having 3 assists. I mean, if you see also the minutes, he had 14 versus Bayern, yes, but overall, if you see, he plays in 20 minutes or more, depending the game. And versus Virtus, I think Baskonia will need Sadakerskis to play in a good form in order to get a W.
Yeah, they definitely need him on that one.
The other option we have, it's
Deep value?
one and only. Deep value is the one and only Sorkin from Maccabi. I mean, Roman Sorkin, what a year for this player. What a year. 7.3 points, if you see 1.7 defensive rebounds, but 2.2 offensive rebounds. He's so good at the glass, offensively and defensively, of course. And we see 1.2 assists, 0.6 steals, and 0.2 turnovers, and 1.2 blocks.
Yeah.
So if you see rebounds and blocks, it means that he's very active on the glass. And if you see after round 12, he picked it up again. So he's going up and up and up. So if you see versus Virtus, he has 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, but he's giving 14 fantasy points. And for 7.4 credits, I think is a great choice to have.
Can we just see something from round 8? Every single round he has at least 1 block. That's amazing for a small forward, right? He's not a center.
He's not like Tavares. Tavares is a center, so he protects the paint. But yeah, Sorkin is not a center. But
Sorkin, as you said, a very good year. Very good year, Sorkin.
Yes. And kudos to Odet Katash. He knows how to use Sorkin very well with his team. And the other choice we have is, well, the player who hit the buzzer beater in the last round. So versus Olympiacos Noir, we all saw at the beginning, Decolo passed the ball and he scored the crucial 3-pointer to bring the W to Asphalt. So he scored 13 points. He grabbed only 2 rebounds. But he is that forward who is stretching the floor. So he can go to the 3-point line, just wait for the pass, and then he will shot the ball. He had a good double game. If you see versus Partizan, 11 fantasy points, versus Olympiacos, 13.2 fantasy points. So for 7 credits, 6.6 credits, we believe is a good choice to have in the team if you want to spend more in another position or for another forward in general. And last but not least,
Have to go very low on credits now.
I think is yes, it's
There it
yeah,
is.
4.4, 4.5 credits. So we have Schneider from Alba. He had what a game versus Monaco. And not only for fantasy points, that if you see he scored 15 points,
Mm,
grabbed 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And if you see
just in 19 minutes, right?
just 19 minutes, so he was that efficient.
Mm,
He was one of the surprises of the round, but one of the good surprises,
yeah.
giving 16 fantasy points. And with 4.5 credits, I mean, he can easily be, put him on round one. If he's playing round one, then put him on the bench. Doesn't hurt, He's from less than 5 credits forward options. I I believe is the best option to have than less than 5 credits because
Yeah.
4 point.
Probably in any position, right? Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
any position. But
So
if you see, yeah, we had a lot of forward suggestions because the forward position
it's stacked in Euroleague.
is stacked, and the price of the forwards is going up and up and up very very fast. And
Yeah.
that's why at some point you don't know who to choose. Like for example, if you see, we didn't even mention Clyburn.
Yeah.
He's coming from a bad game, but still, we left Clyburn out and we suggested all the other players. But let's see what's going on for the on the guard position.
On the guard position, Misic has, as the Godfather has said, Fredo, you broke my heart, right? Misic, 13 points. He gave us on the rush 2 rounds. We gave him, and 14 points on round 13 and 13 in round 14. I think it's time for him to, you know, come back and fix this. He's playing versus Pau, and we if we look at the whole year, he didn't have a stretch of low ranked games. He had only that 9.9, and then he exploded at 34 versus Olympiacos. So we expect after 2 mediocre games to get back on his usual very good self. Now, second we have Brown. So Brown, as you can see, there is no much that we need to say about him because he's having an amazing year. Probably his one of his best or the best EuroLeague year. 18 points, 6.5 assists, almost 1 steal, and 3.7 rebounds. He's the maestro for Maccabi, and they will need him at Berlin. As Mike James mentioned in Twitter, the 3-1 box that we're playing against him. Maybe Brown will have to face that. But with the ability he has to feed his teammates, we think he's not going to have a big problem. And he's going to find ways, if he's not able to score high, to help the team. And also, we know, and you can see here, he always gets rebounds, so he's going to gather, he's going to have a good stat line and good fantasy points. Now, our last option on this top rank market is Evans. Evans with 12.2 credits. We mentioned just earlier in this video how great he's been this year. So 15.6 points, 3.3 rebounds for a point guard, right? 3.9 assists, almost a steal. Really, really good numbers, and He's coming also from 27.5 fantasy points. He scored 20 points. And the game versus Bayer, he's playing at home, so we think he's able to keep the good games and the good points for us. Now, into the mid market, so anything below 11, we do have Howard, also another, another favorite player here. Howard is a scoring machine. So he's 15.2 points averaging in Euroleague. And the crazy thing is that knowing what he can do, seeing what he can do if he explodes, it seems little, right? So with that in mind, maybe he has a chance to repeat these high scoring games that he had the previous week. And correct me if I'm wrong, Konstantinos, I think he also had an amazing game in ACB, right?
Yes, he had a great game. He scored 7 out of 10 3-pointers or something like that. It was
It's
amazing.
mad.
It's amazing. I mean, this player can light it out, can get on fire really, really fast. And if he gets on fire, nothing can stop him. I mean, he can get up to
It's
like 20 points very, very easily.
it's a microwave on 2K, isn't it?
True, true. That's true. That's true.
So yeah, so against Virtus, and with the way Virtus is playing defense, he will need to make this big shot. So that's another reason. Also, we chose him today with 10.6 credits. And then the last option on this mid market is a first choice in the show for us is Bonga for Bayer. He's coming from a good double fixer week when he gave double digits 16 versus Real Madrid, 19.8 versus with a bonus of win versus Valencia. And as you can see, he's not just scoring but also grabbing rebounds and doing steals or assists. So he helps his team in multiple ways. But mainly, we know he needs to score, right? And that's why at Zalgiris, Bayer will need for him to help maybe Walden um,
Winston.
or Winston exactly. So then in the deep value market, we do have a couple of options. First is Blood, 9.4 points, 5.1 assists. Really good quality player. You can see here, he had this plus 19 on round 11 with 17 points, and then he had two bad games when he scored minus, but it seems like he's probably getting back. He scored 11 points, he had 5 assists, and that 5 assists actually with only 1 turnover. And I think if I scroll to the right, we can see that let's get it again, that he played just 13 minutes. So he managed to do this in just 13 minutes. Now, if he has another good game like this, of course, it will depend on how Madolo is playing. He may have a double-digit fantasy points again. So for 6.7 is a solid selection there. Then just some credits below at 6.1, we have Dobrits. He's consistently a very fair player. He, in terms of fantasy, as you can see from round 9, he gives 5, 8, 6, even that 2. That's okay. But then he also had some double digits. So he can score as well, and he can help in assist or some rebounds. And we know last year he had a good game versus Olympiacos. So
He had the highest credits, fantasy points versus Olympiacos last year. I think he had 18.
Yeah, so factoring that and the fact that he seemed to be in a good form and have a role in this Ivanovic team, that's our second option for deep value. And finally, with 5 credits, our last option is Mahmutoglu. Recently he hasn't done any big game, but he's still consistent in terms of scoring. That's his main role in the team, right? He gets in a veteran with experience to just be the scorer in these little minutes he plays. And with Partizan, he at home also they will need him to step up and give that minutes to help Guduric and his team. So with 5 credits, again, as we said with Pradilla, anything you get pretty much above the cost of the credit is a big win.
A plus. Yeah,
is a plus. Yeah.
Plus.
And I think that concludes our options for players and coaches. So I think Konstantinos, maybe you can guide us through our teams and the formation and the changes for this round. And let's start with our alley oop dunks.
This is our main team. Let's say, as you see, we have 15 hours before the beginning of round, the kickoff, beginning of round 15. You see, we made some changes. We also changed our coach. First of all, we chose to choose Mateo instead of we used to have Ivanovic, and we brought Mateo because Real Madrid is playing at home versus Asvel, and after a defeat versus Algiris, they need to bounce back and get a W. Also, most probably will be full squad. I mean, Gabriel Deck is back, so there was any injury known for Real Madrid, any new injury. So that's why we spent 9.1 credits for the coach, and then we went for. We brought Lorenzo Brown because versus Alba Berlin, he has the quality to have another amazing game. Of course, we had to kick out Vildoza of the team, but still, if you bring Brown, then it's a move that
we have to sacrifice someone, right?
That's true. And it's also a move that it will bring more pluses than negative.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed, of course. Yes, I mean the potential is there. And for the forward position, we decided to again not have Mirotic, such a, of course, quality player, but we brought Sorkin, and we did this because we wanted to choose Mateo as our coach. So we brought Sorkin again versus Alba Berlin. Sorkin can be very, very efficient because Alba does not have this star forward, let's say. Alba has like Olinte is a small forward, but still Sorkin has what it takes to be productive in grabbing rebounds and again blocks, as you see. You saw the stats. And last but not least, Schneider from Alba joined our team. He is the safe choice from the forward position, and with 4.5 credits, I mean, anything that you get, as Bill says, more is a plus. As you see, we have put all the players that played in first round. We have Lorenzo Brown as our coach, despite Vezankov playing on first round.
Not coach, as our captain.
As our captain, yes.
Coach in the court.
Coach in the court. That's what they meant. But if you see, we have Misic, Evans, I mean, in the second round of round 15. So we may have Misic if Lorenzo Brown does not perform of what we hope to give us back. So, yes, and if you see, we still have 0.6 credits left. So we keep them for, let's say, the changes we make next round,
Yeah.
round 16.
Yeah. Just wanted to say we believe that is a big star in forwards in Alba, and that's Sigma. But probably, as Constantino saying, he's not going to um, probably defend Sorkin. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And actually, by saying Sigma, is just my signal to go in our deep value team. Because here we decided for a completely different approach. We decided to bring in, as you see on the right, these changes are not correct. It's from our other team, but I'm just gonna let you know what we did. So we tried to get the lowest possible credits codes we could, and that's max Vitis. Is a risk for us with Bagger because it's a difficult game, but because of home court advantage, we get max Vitis, and that allow us to actually bring more stars in the team. So what we did is we brought Sigma in for Clyburn. And also the mirrors that got out of our main team, it came here on our team B to play alongside James that he was already in our team. And the third addition was Mahmoudoglu, as we also had him in our, we talked about him just seconds ago. So we do have, unfortunately, both of our centers playing on the second day. So we're going blindly a little bit there. But we have Vesely as our main center, and we decided to have Musa as our captain because he should be able to get on with the scoring for Real, and hopefully he that depicts on his fantasy points. Sigma, we talked about it. Then Dobrits again. We hope he can have a good game at Olympiacos. And finally, we have for the second round web ops that they could also get in if things don't go well for our main five, and of course Mirotis and James that could get the could be the captain if Musa doesn't perform the high on the high end that we want him to perform.
That's true. And let me say at this point that Mike James is playing versus a former club that did not live in the best terms, let's say.
Very true.
So versus Armani, I think Mike James has the potential to explode, just explode. And we all know that if Mike James explodes, it goes crazy. It can go crazy high,
Yeah.
both scoring game and also fantasy wise points.
And maybe he has another reason, because many people took his tweet not wrong, but actually they found the ability to actually tell him that maybe it's you that you couldn't make it on this defense. So maybe they have worked him up more. So as you said, potentially there are many reasons for Mike James to go out and be big this week.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true, and he can do it. That's you just put more fuel, to that, and then
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Yeah, it was even Scariolo, right? I think that said that, okay, that's fine. It shouldn't be a problem. Players should be fine having to face this kind of defense. I mean, it's a big debate that we can open now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure whether I agree with any side of things, to be honest.
but with one thing that we agree is that Euroleague is amazing. I mean, this last week it gave us so many different games, amazing games. I mean, to the last moment. So, yeah. Personally, let's say we had, personally we had also the World Cup for football, but still the intense that basketball can give you, the change of emotions and everything cannot match with anything. That's
Exactly.
my opinion.
think for all pure basket heads like us, that's what is the truth, right? And
Mhm.
also 21st December was the Naismith moment when he invented basketball in Canada. So I think in US, he's Canadian in US.
Yes, yes.
So I think it's another festive reason for all of us to on these days for our best port. Also on our YouTube, we made a post a couple of days ago, and we said we'll have some announcements for this week, and that's pretty much us saying we are getting into the mid-season. The first half is almost done in a couple of fixtures, so we are planning to get some special episodes now that we are in this festive season, like maybe the best fantasy team that you could have with the starting credits, or the best deep value fantasy team. Maybe do some power rankings, newcomers, prospects, MVP ranking, and maybe an all Euroleague team. We will have to talk between us and
I mean,
decide.
the options are endless, basically. just just be creative, and then we can do many things, and also it's
Generate the conversation mainly, right?
yeah, that's true, and
Because
also
every single person will have a completely different team.
but yeah, but that's nice, and that's like sometimes I get like I forgot a player, and then Bill says about the player, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. So that's how big EuroLeague has grown all these years, and you see all this top talent and these top tier players playing in EuroLeague. It's really really great.
Yeah. And with this, with the second toughest league in the world, officially, as they said on their EuroLeague Twitter
Yeah.
account, I think we can say goodbye for now and hope everyone has a great round 15. Hope you
Yes.
get the most points you can.
Hope you get the most points. Be wise on your selections, and if you want, you can leave a comment below. Just let us know what are your options and what are your dilemmas for choices, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Like and subscribe. Bye.
Yes, see you. Bye bye.